even tripping, I ain't never double dribble. I'm a player, for the Himalayas. Let me sit sideways, man. Let me back door, let me fall off. Sipping codeine, cause I gotta kill a call. Let me sit sideways in the big bin. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends.
Hey, what's up? This is Jared Gray, aka Boomer, with the Sooner Shakedown. Guys, we're doing absolutely crazy shows lately. I appreciate you. Appreciate the follows and the shares. Make sure that you're following CFB Nation so you can watch the links and the shows and everything that's coming up. We've got a lot of stuff coming with Big 12 Media Days, obviously the spring game. Everything's coming. We really appreciate all the support. It's been just chaos with us lately, but we're here for it and we're having a good time. Headlines. Let's get some breaking news to you. Just came out. Kyler Murray is getting his brand new statue, and it'll be unveiled Saturday at the spring game at 11:30 at Heisman Park, right next to Baker's. So be there for that. Got a quick preview of that just now. It looks really good. I know everybody has their issues with different statues and how it's going to go and whatnot, but we're excited for Kyler. Hopefully he comes back really healthy this year for the Cardinals. They're kind of in shambles, it seems like, with everything's going on over there. But that's exactly what's going on. Quick headlines. We've got some new commitments that have just come out. Obviously, you already know about Hawkins being the quarterback. Jeremiah Newcomb, who I talked about last week, really love Nuke. He's a really good kid. We're discussing an interview soon, so hopefully we'll get that figured out. And you guys can get to see a little more face-to-face of him because we're excited about him. Newest commit, Kelly Daniels out of Louisiana. It's funny because we don't usually get a lot of players out of Louisiana. It's not our staple. California, Florida, Texas, Oklahoma. That's our spot. Lately Kansas has been a really big one for us with PJ, Glenn or Green, and everybody else coming out. Nawari looks like he's kind of a guy. I'm going to give you something that I don't love right now. David Stone is obviously top target. Everybody loves him, but there's a lot of crystal balls and saying percentage wise, and it's going up and going down. I don't love what is going on with his Twitter because I understand he's wearing his OU and he's from IMG Academy, but I feel like he's just playing the game. I wouldn't be completely sold on him coming to Oklahoma right now, especially with Nawari looking so to a point. Nigel Smith just took a big trip to Penn State. We'll be talking to him soon. I think those are two players that we really need to focus on. And I understand they're not defensive tackle. Stone could really help out the D-line, and he would be a major grab. But I'm just a little weary on he loves the game. He loves the whole Twitter aspect, and so just be ready for that. But a little bit on Kelly Daniels. He's 5'10". He's only 150 pounds. I mean, I remember being 150 pounds when I was in like 8th grade. So there's that. I'm going to need him to put some weight on. But he's a burner. Love to see an Orlando Brown type of player. Not Orlando Brown. Hollywood Brown. I've got Orlando on my mind because we were talking offensive lineman a little bit ago. So Hollywood would be the good comparison for him if he gets his speed up a little bit. Obviously, Hollywood's electric, and we'd just love to see that. Other headlines that we have going is just how crystal balls are going and how we're seeing certain players, come in. Currently ranked 56th in recruiting rankings. Obviously, that will change once you have a lot of players commit soon and over the summer and, in the fall. So don't worry about the 56 right now. Getting Nawari and David Stonewall would move that into a top 10. Caleb Hicks. Let's get into the running back room. We knew that we had an injury, right? And Brooks being injured was going to open up some doors. So with the running back room coming up, how it's shaping out, how it's looking, Caleb Hicks is really standing out. He looks really like he wants to be here. He wants to prove that there's a reason why he was the lead running back coming into this. This running back room is elite. It really is. Gavin Shawshuck is playing out of his mind. I mean, he's looked so different from the first day of spring practice last year to this year. He's just grown. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten faster, which is crazy to think how much bigger, more weight he's put on. And he actually looks faster in pads right now. His pad level's really good. He's the clear-cut number one in the room right now with Brooks being hurt. We talked about how we loved Gavin and how he was just biding his time. He's just strong, fast. Love his attitude. Somebody told me he looks like Philip Lindsay the other day. I can't get out of my head. It's the hair. I understand that. But Philip Lindsay had a really good career in the NFL. Is currently playing XFL right now. He's a much better running back than Philip Lindsay, and I'm telling you that as a sophomore. I would take him right now over Philip Lindsay's pro time in Denver. That's how well has stood out to me so far in practice and how he's looked. That running back room just keeps getting stronger. Caleb Hicks scored 2 touchdowns in the scrimmage the other day. Gavin Shawchuk did the same thing. I think you're going to see a lot of moving parts in the running back room. I think you're going to see, guys playing slot. We're seeing guys like, the backup quarterback playing tight end right now because we're very slim on tight end. I think the portal's going to change that a little bit this summer. We're going to add a tight end. That's what I really expect to see to happen. Let me know what you think. Me personally, Bevel, I think will be a better tight end than he is a quarterback anyway. We saw in the Tex game, he can't sling it, and he's huge. He's a big guy. So Blake Bell made a good transition in the NFL. He's won 2 bowl rings, and he's been a very solid tight end. But he was a decent quarterback as well at Oklahoma. But I think Bevel's – I love when position change happens and a player figure out who he is. Like DJ Graham has one of the best interceptions I've ever seen in my entire life, and now is playing wide receiver at Oklahoma. He had a touchdown pass with Arnold in the scrimmage, so keep your eye on him. DJ continues to play a lot better. All right, linebackers. I know everybody's asking me about how the linebacker room is shaping out, how's everything going with it, and how deep we're going to be. Because the linebacker room hasn't been phenomenal since, Kenneth Murray left. And, then before him was Curtis Lofton. Obviously we got some greats in Teddy Lehman. But this linebacker room is just getting better and better. I talked about Jared Koenig a couple weeks ago and how he ran a 10-6 100-yard dash. 10-4 100-yard dash at one point. It'll give you an idea. Tajay Spears, who we love at CFB Nation, a really great young man out of Tulane, ran a 10-600 at his highest speed. So, and he's a running back, small stature. Jared is a full-on man, and love seeing speed at the linebacker. He hits hard. He looks good. Danny Stutzman is a character, always on the mic. We're seeing, previews of him interviewing everybody, including Jackson Arnold recently. And both those guys, they're going to build around them. But then you bring in guys like Reggie Pearson, who's going to play the cheetah, Dason McCullough, who's playing the cheetah as well, and shift over defensive end. Dason McCullough, I know I can continue saying how much I like this kid. Dason, I keep messing up his name because everybody else keeps messing up his name. I've heard players call him Deshaun. So I'm going to try to interview him soon and see where we're going to go from there, because I'm not going to keep jacking up his name. But DM for short, let's just go with that. He is crushing it. He looks the part. He is flying all over the place. He's a leader. The group is gravitating toward him. He's building the younger guys. He just looks really good in practice. He understands how tough this defensive scheme is, but he loves Brent Venables. He loves the attitude. He loves the family that is brought over. That's part of why you're seeing recruits come over, is because the coaching staff treats everybody like a family. And the McCollum brothers feel that way, and they're both standing out in practice, loving what Reggie Pearson is coming over and doing. And I understand he's the safety, but it's just what is going on right now. Got some guys in the chat group. We appreciate you hopping in. My TTT guys, CFB Nation, we're deep over here. I know you guys keep wanting to ask me about Jackson Arnold in the quarterback room. One bad thing you don't want to hear right now, or good if you aren't wanting Jackson to step right in and be the guy right now, is we are seeing a lot out of the quarterback competition or group together. Jackson Arnold has really pushed himself into the number 2 position, and they're highlighting him. He brings a different aspect to the game. He has rushed twice, breaking large plays in practice. That's something that you saw a little bit out of Dylan last year. He had some big runs. He had a really big run against Nebraska for a touchdown to really break the game open. And we looked like world beaters after week 3. But the difference is where Dylan can spread the ball compared to Jackson. Jackson has a much tighter spiral. He can throw all assets of the field. The center seam looks really good for him. Throwing to the right and the left isn't a problem. He rolls very good to the left and throwing off to the right. You love to see that out of a young player. Dylan has looked a lot better, though. And I love to see quarterback rooms make people look better. We're seeing that, and Dylan is throwing much better to the right side. If you know me at all, I give Tua so much flack about being able to throw to the right side. He can't throw to the right side of the hash. I think 92% of his interceptions are on the right side of the hash, which is scary for a left-hander, right? Which you would think would be a problem for a right-hander throwing left, but it's really not, and that's definitely not been a problem for Jackson. This quarterback room has looked really good. Just currently bringing over Michigan wide receiver Andrew Anthony. He has done nothing but praise Jackson Arnold. He can't tell you enough how much he likes the kid. He's like, I see a lot of his leadership being young. He doesn't look like a freshman. He doesn't play like a freshman. He doesn't act like a freshman. He is very poised. He understands he's in the spotlight from day one. Huge shoes to fill. When you're coming in and you've got Heisman Trophy winners and Jason White, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Heisman Trophy finalist, finishing second in Jalen Hurts. You have, Sam Bradford. You have big shoes to fill at Oklahoma because they continue to bring out good players. So Jackson understands what his role is and just what he has to do. For this all to gel, though, we have to see how good the offensive line is going to be this year. And I kind of brought up Jalen Guyton last week, just about how well he's commanded the offense and how much better he's looked. It's light years ahead of what it was day one in practice. I mean, Bill Beanbo, I will continue to say, is the best offensive line coach in football. And I'm not talking about high school or college. I'm talking in football. I think he's the best offensive line coach in football. And when you have multiple Joe Moore Trophy winners, you lead the entire NFL in offensive linemen in the Pro Bowl all pros. Oklahoma's O-line you for a reason. There's a reason why you get certain players coming from, 5 stars and 4 stars that really want to play for this guy because they know how good he develops players. Orlando Brown is a perfect example. He's big, strong, fast. He's got good pedigree, I understand that. But his footwork wasn't great when he showed up at Oklahoma. He's been a perennial all-pro ever since he's left here. Going on to his third team, which is a little crazy to be in Pro Bowls every single year and be able to have your pick of where you want to go. I promise you, Joe Burrow's loving the fact that he's over there right now. Anton Harrison's going to be a first-round draft pick, it looks like. Talking to multiple sources, Tampa Bay loves him. Dallas loves him. The list is long. Kansas City loves him too, even though they've just re-signed players. The Steelers, I think the Steelers are really, really in on him right now. Talking to Trey Norwood, they like Oklahoma players. And I will tell you, the tight end side, that they're talking to Braden a little bit too. Talked to Mike Tomlin at the Senior Bowl. He's really high on Braden. He's really high on the offensive lineman in general. So the offensive line continues to have woes last year. I don't think you're going to see that this year. Even losing the guys you're losing in Wanya Morris, who I really enjoyed as a person, talking to and meeting. Anton Harrison, losing those guys is really tough. Bringing guys that you brought in, Green, Guyton, transfers from Stanford who are going to be absolute stars here. That's what you really want to see, and you're seeing them gel a lot better. They're pushing the defensive line, who I will tell you is much improved in practice a little bit. You're seeing the defensive line win, which is something that we're not used to at Oklahoma the last 15 years, I would say. It's been fun to watch practices so far. You're going to see a little bit of it in the spring game. The defense wants to win the spring game. That's their whole goal. And the offensive line wants to stop that. There's a lot of talent. They need some wide receiver help. I think that's something else they need to address. But the offensive line looks really good. And, just really loving this whole spring so far. Big 12 Media Days coming in July. We will be a force down there at CFB Nation. So make sure that you are following, to make sure that you follow all of our content and take care of us. A little humble plug there. I don't know if I have any questions in the chat group right now. I got one question. Okay, so question being is, what's something I'm expecting from the upcoming spring game? I expect a little fireworks. I think you're going to see probably about 4 or 5 big plays, but I also think you're going to see a lot of defensive scheming here. I think you're going to see a little more defensive love this spring game than you are. And I get, as a fan, you want to see the offense just blow up and look better. And I think you're going to see really good quarterback play. I think you're going to see one of those like 8 for 10, 100 yards. If you watched Georgia's quarterback recently in their spring game, Beck had a really good thing. And we understand that Vandergriff at one time was committed to Oklahoma. He's a 5-star. He might even transfer from Georgia. That's something that you don't want to see at Oklahoma. You're not going to see that out of at least, our top 2 guys. I think you're going to see 8-10 passes out of each one of the quarterbacks to a point, especially starting quarterbacks. And then you're going to see a little more love out of, General Booty and those guys, the younger group. I say the younger group because Jackson's a freshman, but he's only going to play, a little bit. I don't see, they're not going to unleash him at all. And you're going to see a little fun out of him. They're going to see a lot of chirping. So the spring game is going to be a ton of fun. Make sure you're packing the Palace. I know they've sold like 40,000 tickets already. So the goal is, let's get 80. So we'll see if we can get there. It's supposed to be pretty nice overall Saturday. Not super. It's not going to be hot. It's not going to be cold. About 60 degrees, 65 degrees. So make sure you're there, and you're going to really enjoy it. So, do I have any other questions? Okay, well, until next week, guys, we appreciate you, and make sure you're following. Make sure you're sharing this. I can only do this as much as you guys help me grow. So, CFP Nation T2T, we guys are an absolute monster growing right now. We're growing faster than I can tell you. 400 subscribers the last 4 months. So we're going to try to break 1,000 over at CFP Nation. Make sure you follow, share, and like, and follow the guys because we appreciate your help. Once we get to 1,000, I will give you one of the followers that likes and comments and shares in the groups or whatever. I will raffle. You know what? Let's just make it easy. As soon as we get to 500, because we're close, I will raffle a jersey. I will get a jersey made. You decide what number it's going to be. We will do a giveaway for the Soon Shakedown, and I'll take care of you guys. We'll do a jersey just so you can have for this summer. And for hopefully have 1,000 by the next one. We'll give 2 jerseys away, but we'll go from there. Until next week, let's go. Boom Sooner, baby.